Hello everyone, myself Yashika Jaggi and I'm a student of Masters in Journalism and Mass Communication from MIT University. The topic of my research is analyzing the diffusion of misinformation on social media platforms. The aim of my study was to analyze the diffusion of misinformation on social media platforms as due to growing technology and internet, we are becoming very dependent on social media and this use of social media has increased tremendously and that has given rise to misinformation. And this study also aims to find out how reliable people are on social media and how likely people are prone to fall for misinformation on social media. It also aims to find out the measures that people take to check the authenticity of any news without believing it or sharing it with their families. A survey of 500 people were conducted for the study and a questionnaire was voted on social media website. The study was conducted in Delhi NCR and the respondents belonged to different age, professional backgrounds and opinions. So before we start, what is disinformation? What is misinformation and how is it related to social media? The widespread diffusion of misinformation as social media has grabbed a lot of attention recently. So in the last few decades, due to excess use of internet, we have become mostly dependent on social media. But what is misinformation? There are numerous terms that are related to misinformation, but one of the most similar terms that is confused with is disinformation. One way to distinguish between both is to check the intention of the news. If any news story is deliberately posted to deceive the readers or the viewers, it can be said as disinformation. But if it is unintentional, it may be called as misinformation. In short, we can say that misinformation is basically an umbrella term for any false, dispatching, misleading, or inaccurate information that is available on social media. And misinformation is usually the building blocks of hatred as it manipulates people and it makes them believe something that may or may not be true. For this research, I studied 18 books, articles, and research papers. And in this particular field of misinformation in social media, studies and researches started after 2006, but there were not many studies before 2016. And after 2016, there was a peak in the studies of in this field. So the objective of my research paper was to study and analyze the diffusion of misinformation in social media platforms and the role of social media platforms, and to analyze various reasons for which misinformation is published and shared on social media and various factors involved in checking the authenticity of the news. A survey method was used for this research, and the data was collected by questionnaires. And the conclusions, the findings were drawn based on survey results. A total of 500 samples were taken for the purpose, and the respondents belonged to different age, gender, profession, location, and income class. A study was conducted in Delhi NCR, and the group of respondents ranged from under 70 to above 35. Most of the respondents were from the age group of 18 to 25, that was my age group, and the second largest respondents were from the age group of above 35, that is 38%. There were respondents from age group of 26 to 30, 31 to 35, or 17 or younger. The gender of the respondents was like 59% of the respondents were male, while 41% of the respondents were female for the study. The majority of respondents in the study was those who have done their post-graduation or are pursuing their post-graduation right now, that is 56%. When asked about the most used social media app or website, most of the respondents said that they use WhatsApp in their day-to-day lives. WhatsApp is the primary source of information for receiving the information, while 27% said that Instagram is the most used social media app or website. So when asked about the primary source of information, 52% said that social media is the primary source of their information. It can be WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, any social media website. Well, 34% said that internet is the primary source of information. Internet can be e-newspapers, e-magazines, or any websites or Google. So when asked about the information that they share with their family and friends, 29% said that they share information with their family and friends once a week, while 27% said that they do share the information sometimes in a week, but only 13% share information daily with their friends and family. So when I asked about the fact that if they ever have been the victim of misinformation, 54% said that yes, they have been a victim of misinformation, but 26% said that no, they have never been a victim of misinformation, and 20% said that maybe they have been a victim of misinformation as they do not know and they are not sure about it. So when asked about if they take any precautions to check the authenticity of the news, 53% said that yes, they do take precautions, while 31% said that they sometimes take precautions to check the authenticity of the news, and 8% said that no, they do not take any precaution. And seeing the graph that 54% have been a victim of misinformation, then 53% actually take the precautions to check authenticity. When asked about the fact that people fall for misinformation on social media websites easily rather than any other source of media, source of information, 51% strongly agreed that yes, on social media, people actually fall for misinformation very easily. And when asked about the fact that who is responsible for identifying misinformation, 40% said the social media platform is responsible for identifying misinformation, and they should block the user's name or users who spread misinformation. And 26% said that an independent body like us, people are responsible for identifying misinformation. When asked about the role of social media, 42% said that social media is used to provide short, timely summary of current events, and that is why they use it. And 22% said that it is to inform the readers. 15% said that it is to build a relationship with the readers. And when asked about the purpose of misinformation, 48% said that it is to advance a specific position or agenda, and 32% said that it is to manipulate people, while 14% said it is to confuse people. And various ways or various steps how you can check the authenticity of the news. You can look for the signs of authentic news reporting, such as writer's name, publisher's website's name, and you can look for the reputable sources of news. You can ask someone you know, your friends and family. There were some people who said that they assume whatever they are reading must be true because it is published on social media. But the question still remains: is everything published on social media true? No, it is not. And some people said that they immediately posted it on social media itself so that they can share it with their networks. And some said that they ignore most of the things they see because they realize that most of the information is questionable. When asked about how important it is to fight misinformation, 69% said that it is very important to fight misinformation and strongly agreed with it, while 11% said that no, it is not very important to fight misinformation as we have various other problems in our country still. The objective of the study was to analyze the diffusion of misinformation on social media platform and the role of social media. And we realized that yes, due to busy schedule, people are very much reliable on social media and they do consume the news without checking the authenticity of the news, and they might share it with their friends and family. Social media is one of the fastest source of information in today's time, and even many newspapers and television channels post the news on social media handles as and when it happens, because social media has surpassed the primary sources and the traditional sources of information, that was radio, television, and newspaper. Social media gives a voice to the voiceless and has a huge power today. But since the COVID-19 came into existence, the role and power of social media has increased drastically, as we are very much dependent on social media handles of World Health Organization or other authentic sources to receive information and news and our daily resources of entertainment. And the other objective was to analyze various reasons for which misinformation is published and shared on social media, and the various reasons and factors were to manipulate the people to advance a specific position or agenda. And it can be through videos, memes, or anything. And yes, people have been a victim of misinformation in today's time. And it is social media is very important, and we should check the authenticity of the news without consuming any news. The conclusion was yes, people have fallen for misinformation. Yes, people have started taking care of the authenticity. People have started checking the authenticity, and WhatsApp is the most used social media platform. And we should also take the precautions while consuming any news. You should look for authentic signs like the publisher's name, reporter's name, and for clickbaits, or you could ask your family and friends. Social media help us learn, but misinformation is a toxic trait that needs to end. One should always verify the news that they are reading on social media and before sharing with their family and friends, as it is very important. Don't let social media be the termite that is eating up yourself, your family, and your society. And the limitations was that I would, for future references or for future research, I would want uh, a sample of people outside Delhi NCR must be taken for understanding, and other research methods like interviews or case studies should be used to conduct future research, as it could lead to more accurate results. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you like my presentation. Thank you so much.